Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the natal chart of Charles Dion McDowell. Now, some of you may have heard about him. He is known as the neck guy or something similar now or comparable to it. What happened was this person, Charles Dion McDowell, he recently had a mugshot, police mugshot that had gone viral. What happened was on November 13th, 2018, the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, they made a post on their Facebook page, and the post had a mugshot of Charles McDowell, and he was arrested, apprehended on various charges, including possession of cocaine with intent to sell. Now, what happened was, consequently, as a result of this, the mugshot had gone viral. Now, the post on Facebook alone has nearly 300,000 comments and over 250,000 shares. Now, sadly, he has been the butt of numerous jokes in the comment section regarding his neck. This is why it had gone viral, because of very unusual neck size, and he has had one, obviously inundated, bombarded with all these jokes and puns or whatever regarding his unusual neck size. Now, the thing about this is now the birth date that I'm using for the chart is August 12th, 1987. That is the birthday that is shown on the mugshot on the Facebook post. Now, I'm doing a solar sunrise chart for him because, of course, I don't know his birth time. His birth time is unknown. First off, he has a very strong Leo emphasis in his chart, and with him being a sun in Leo, this might have actually been a bittersweet moment for him. I honestly believe that part of him may be reveling in the fact that his photo did go viral. Now, I understand there's a lot of derogatory remarks regarding him on as far as this goes. There was something, though, on some page or something somebody made of him, and on Facebook it said something like Colin Kaepernick or something. It just, people are almost going overboard with all these jokes that are pertaining to his unusual neck size. Now, for him, this may have been seen as maybe somewhat serendipitous. Yes, he was arrested, he was apprehended, and he may serve extensive jail time in terms of for all the charges he's racked up. But however, he has received certain popularity, exposure, and notoriety due to this experience. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually made a book on this experience. He does have Venus conjunct Mercury in Leo in his chart, so it could show maybe some ability to actually write, and maybe certain diction, being able to write about something that gave him some exposure and was something that was connected with receiving attention. Now, he also, looking at this, really, in the experience, of course, based on the prodigious size of his neck, or I should say, based on the prodigious side of his neck, it's easy to speculate he may have a Taurus ascendant. Now, however, I want to talk about a few things in his chart that might point to this really unusually, abnormally neck size as far as he goes. Now, in his solar sunrise chart, he has Venus in Leo in the 12th house. Now, as many of you may know, Venus does rule the neck. It's in the 12th house, connected with limitations, restrictions, and also secret sorrows. I don't really feel he's that sorrowful and in seclusion or solitude regarding this at all. A lot of this, I think, might just be attributed to him working out vigorously, but I'll get to that later on in the video. The thing about it is, and given though this is an attention-seeking Leo, it's not surprised he got notoriety for something connected with what may be perceived as a very abnormal neck size and distorted neck size. Now, also in his solar sunrise chart, he has the ruler of the second house in the 12th house. Now, the second house in astrology is, of course, can correspond with the throat and the neck, and that ruler is in the 12th house of restrictions and limitations. Now, He also has Taurus on that 10th house cusp in that solar sunrise chart. And of course, Taurus, of course, is anatomically is associated with the throat and neck. And the 10th house, of course, is connected with recognition, notoriety, and exposure. And it's also public image, reputation. Now he's going to really, this is really going to affect his public image. Now he's really going to be seen as that guy with that large neck. Now, also, too, the ruler of that 10th house, Venus, falls. Of course, that's in the 12th house, as I stated before. Now, also, that ruler Venus, it does conjunct his sun in Leo, which of course could give really shine the light even more so to speak, on this matter. Now, another thing, when I looked at his chart, this solar sunrise chart I cast, he has the ruler of his 6th house, which is Saturn, Capricorn, on the cusp of that 6th house. It makes a long conjunction to Uranus and Sagittarius. Now, this could be an indicator of an unusual health issue. What's ironic and somewhat humorous in a way about this is now somebody made a flippant comment about his neck online somewhere, stating that it looks like his neck is connected to his thigh. Well, oddly enough, Sagittarius is associated with the thighs, and his planets, okay, the sign his Saturn and Uranus are in Sagittarius. Now, another thing too, what I notice, is that his Jupiter is at 29 degrees Aries. Now, that's, I mean, I see that as on the cusp of Taurus. Could this maybe contribute to distorted neck issues? Perhaps. It may be a generational planet, but it's still, I mean, it was less than a degree away from Taurus. It's still very close to Taurus, and I'm thinking that may play a factor in that. But also, you know, it's no surprise we haven't heard, you know, an overabundance of commentary from him regarding this. I know a lot of that had to do with him being incarcerated. So, of course, you know, whatever he's disseminating regarding this matter was going to be likely suppressed to a certain degree. Now, he did make apparently he had made some video on Instagram. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Though, but I mean, going back, that you hadn't heard much from him regarding this. I mean, it's not really that, you know, bewildering or shocking, because I mean, in his chart, he doesn't have any planets in air. He has, in the solar sunrise chart, Mercury is in the 12th house. He also has the ruler of the 3rd house of communications posited in the 12th house, and he also has Chiron in Gemini. Now, at the time of I mean, I don't know his ascendant or MC, I mean, but my feeling is his ascendant probably is not in an air sign, but that's just a feeling I get. But anyway, at the time of this arrest in his mugshot, transit Sun in Scorpio was making a square to his Leo sun, and in that ascendant point, which of course, I mean, a solar sunrise chart, of course, you have the sun at the same position degree as the ascendant. Now, because it made that adverse aspect, made a square to his Leo sun ascendant point, that could be an indicator, perhaps, on focusing on something being Leo very outstanding in a way, but adverse connected with the appearance, given it's a square, that with a lot of this caustic, sardonic Scorpio energy, of course, it's adversarial, so it's not surprising there was some derogatory remarks regarding something with his appearance at this time, because of course, I mean, I know it's a solar sunrise chart, but the ascendant point is Leo, and sun was making a square to it, so that may have played a role in this. Now, also, at the time of that arrest in his mugshot, transit North Node, well, it's still there. Transit North Node is in Cancer in the 12th house. Now, this could suggest, when you're talking about the North Node in transit, as I've talked about in previous videos, this could be about issues one may have to confront and address. And given we're talking about the 12th house, this could be issues connected with incarceration and imprisonment, and it may have been over also sensitivity to ridicule and criticism as well at the same time. And this was all obviously could be connected and tied in to these negative and derogatory remarks that he's received, been bombarded with, of course, over the abnormal neck size. Hold on a moment, people. Anyway, also too, he has transit South Node in Capricorn in the 6th house. Now, this could indicate perhaps is something he needs to get away from something very adverse and negative in his daily routine. That might be something that's causing despondency in his daily routine, or something depressive, or causing him to feel somewhat melancholy, and limitations also in the work and as far as his employment goes as well, something that's causing some kind of restrictions in his work and employment life. Now, also too, in his progressed chart, now of course this can vary depending on what his actual birth time is, but based on the time I just used doing the solar sunrise chart, he has the moon in Taurus in the 9th house of the law. Now, of course, the moon, can be associated with the public, and being of Taurus, of course, this could be something where, been an indicator of getting some kind of public recognition in connection with his neck. And given it's the 9th house, of course, that would be perhaps resulting of some matters that were associated with the law. So anyway, and again, this is something too, and really, and again, because the moon can be associated with the public, and I believe sometimes it can, when you're talking about the public, it can at times be connected with some kind of notoriety and acclaim in some instances. Now, and also what's interesting about this as well, if he was born a little bit later, his progressed moon would actually be at the algal degree of Taurus. And of course, when you're talking about algal in astrology, sometimes this can give some kind of very distinctive or marked features. And of course, Taurus is associated with the throat and neck area. So I would not be completely shocked if he may have been born at least a little bit later, which would have put that progressed moon over at the algal position, or at least very exceptionally close to it. Now, another thing too is that this could be a time, and given this could be really what I want to talk about as well is that on another note, I'm going to go to go off on a Gemini moon tangent here, that he also, Charles McDowell, has a grand fire trine configuration in his chart, and it's in fire houses. He has the configuration about consisting of Mars in Leo, Uranus in Sagittarius, and Jupiter in Aries. And he, I think in the fact it's in fire houses in the solar sunrise chart, they fall in the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th houses. This might have given him some kind of athletic prowess and ability. I would not be surprised if maybe he at least played some kind of high school sports. I didn't see that information online about him. But, he did have a video of him. Apparently it was him. It was an Instagram video he had made. And it was showing him when he was given his kind of rebuttal, his really response to the acclaim, I guess you could say, regarding all the hoopla about his neck that's been posted on social media, and all the derogatory remarks or what have you regarding this. And really, and when I saw what would appear when I saw his physique, he looked like he was fairly muscular. He apparently looked like he had his shirt off, and I think maybe part of the reason he may have done this, now I might be going any over analysis or anything on this, but I think he might have deliberately done that Not to just simply show off. I mean, being a Leo, he might have been showing off in his physique a little, but that might have been part of the reason he did that. But I think another part might have been to show people, okay, I work out vigorously. I'm into weightlifting. I obviously, and maybe that to show people that's why he has maybe this really very prodigious neck. And I think because a lot of times, as many of you may know, especially those of you out there that see this video that might actually be into weightlifting and bodybuilding or what have you, that a lot of times when you, if you work out very hard and very vigorously, very consistently, sometimes that can make that neck area can become enlarged because of that. And I think that's part of the reason that he did the video like that. If I didn't know him, but I would say that definitely played a role in him doing it like that, because I think he wanted to show people that maybe he doesn't have any kind of it's not because of any great disfigurement or anything or deformity, but he just wanted to show that a lot of that was because he has it was due to him working out strongly and heavily. So that's just my take on that anyway. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment of the natal chart of Charles Dion McDowell. And stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be giving you my take on the upcoming November 23rd, 2018 full moon in Gemini. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.